चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकर सुधारी। बरनौ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फल चारी। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन बिराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केशा। हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा बिकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम प्रिय भरतहि सब भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जब कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कभी कोबिद कभी सके कहते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपत दीन्हा। तुमरो भद्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्त्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मैली मुख माही जल्दी लागी गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिन पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरणा तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सभारो आपे तीनों लोक हाकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत मीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम बचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवाले असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हरे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरहि, हनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करहि। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ करे कोई, छूटहि बद्धि महा सुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होए सिद्ध साखी गौरी सा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय मह डेरा। पवन तने संकट हरण, मंगल मूरति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसो सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय। जय श्री राम, जय Shri Krishna. Hanuman Chalisa is very essential. Hanuman ji is an avatar of bhakti. And bhakti is the core element of Lord realization. No amount of scriptures, no amount of gyan, no amount of kriya can reach that divide without bhakti. Everything becomes so dry, isn't it? Just imagine a relationship without love. In the same way, we need to love the Lord. And bhakti is love. And Hanumanji represents bhakti. So when we start with Hanuman Chalisa, we are telling ourselves that we are setting aside everything that we know. We do not know anything. All we know is that we are totally in love with you, God. There is a desire to know you, but I do not know how. As this is na jap chalu, na tap chalu. कुछ तो पता नहीं है. जप होता नहीं है, तप होता नहीं है. It is the penance that these sages have done is very difficult for all of us. The one-pointed focus is impossible because we'll again say that we are householders. It is okay to call ourselves householders or grihasts, but it should not be used as a derogatory term to tell us that we are unable to realize the Lord. Now Hanumanji is bhakti. And with bhakti, anything is possible. Devotion. When one gets devoted to even a task at hand, be it serving the ill or studying or a sport or anything that you undertake, be it work, be it household work, be it office work, anything, the minute that element of devotion comes in, the word impossible gets deleted. Because the minute you get devoted to your sport, you get devoted to your studies, you get devoted to your aim, you get devoted to your family, you get devoted to your office work or your housework. Why so many examples? Because we have multiple age groups listening to this session, right? So whatever you are doing, you could be a student, you could be a teacher, you could be a householder, you could be in the corporate. The minute the element of devotion takes over, the word impossible gets erased. That is the power of devotion, which is bhakti. And Hanumanji is bhakti personified. He is actually bhakti at its grandest. And hence, we take his name. Now, we were listening to the story of the Ikshvakus, the Suryavansh, in which Sri Ram took avatar later on. We talked about the gurus, Guru Vashisht, and how Vishwamitra overcame all the hurdles to become Vishwamitra. Then we went on to go down the importance of a lineage, yes, because it is a cumulative effort. And then we talked about Raja Sagar. Sagar's father had lost everything and was thrown into the jungle. His queen followed, and after tapas and old age, Raja Sagar gave up his mortal coils, that is his body, and he was descending, but his queen also wanted to descend with him. However, the sage, again, everywhere in Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, we realize that a wise person always guides. Guru Vashisht always guides. Over here, the sage guided that no, you have a child named Sagar. Hence, you cannot descend to Vaikuntha. The other queens got jealous. They poisoned the queen. And in spite of the poison in the womb, Raja Sagar was born. Hence the name Sagar, the one who survived in the midst of the poison also. So beautiful, isn't it? The one who survives in the midst of the poison. Think about it. Don't we all live in some kind of poison or the other? There is so much happening all around us, isn't it? There is negative, there is positive, a lot of crimes, so many things. There are nice people also, we cannot negate them, but there are so many vicious people, gossip mongers, nindaks, the people who badmouth others, criminals, so much of hatred floating around in the air. That is poison. And if you can retain your goodness, retain your beautiful fragrance, and keep giving love, just like these flowers do. You can pluck them, you can crush them, yet they do not leave their core nature of giving fragrance to even the hands which crush them. So if you are able to retain your virtues and your element of kindness, even when there is poison around you, there are people who hate you, there are people who badmouth you, situations are not conducive. Yet if that goodness is still able to glow, then you are like Sagar. In the midst of the poison, the goodness survived, and that is Raja Sagar. It is said that his sons actually dug the oceans. Hence the name of our oceans is Sagar, right? We say Sagar because the sons of Sagar have formed all the ocean. It is not hard to believe. See, when we can reclaim land in Dubai or in India, say in Bombay, in many countries in the world, isn't the land reclaimed? If we can reclaim land, we can make artificial water bodies. How? Why was it so difficult to believe? Why is it so difficult to believe that Sagar's sons could have actually carved the oceans? The technology they had, the power they had, was far beyond what we have today. We are rediscovering it. The problem is these scriptures, which are a storage of power, have been wrapped in yellow cloth and kept away. We feel that, okay, if we want to pray to God, we'll just take away. No, that's not true. Many have been burnt already, not many are left, but whatever are left also have so much of knowledge and information. Flying saucers, going to heavens and other planets was like a very normal thing. And this is an our Manvandar. There are various Manvandars, right? So the Katha we are reading right now is of our Manvandar. Hence, again, I keep telling you, don't get confused when in another Granth or in another version, there is a different twist to the story. It could be taken from another Manvandar. And we have discussed Manvandars, yogs, kalps, right? In I think it's Sarga, when we were talking about Sarga. I think that was book 3. Kindly refer to those sessions which are there on the podcast if you want to know about how creation happened and what are Manvandars, what is the division of time. So right now we are referring to our Manvandar. So in our Manvandar, they formed the oceans. It is possible. They had the technology. So let's not debate and say it is ridiculous. It is not. The oceans are deep, right? So the sons of Sagar had the depth, had a deep, kind heart. And then we went on to say how the Ashwa of the Yagna got stolen. What is Ashwa? Nowadays, I really feel it's derogatory for the animals if we say animal tendency, because many a times the animals are more human than we are. Probably in those times that was not the case. But that is the reality right now. Humans have become the most vicious, unfortunately. So saying animal tendency is derogatory because the animals are not as bad as we are. They know what loyalty is. They know what love is. So it is okay. So Ashwamedh Yagna, so the last horse, there were 100 horses which had to be sacrificed. Now take it to a different level. It is not an animal sacrifice. It is not the sacrifice of a horse. It is the sacrifice of all the vices. Over here, Raja Sagar had to sacrifice his last vice, right? And that is when Indra gets agitated. Now many people ask, what is Indra? Indra is our Indriyas. In heaven, Indra is a designation also. And there is a limited span. Like in our ministries, we have a limited span for the Prime Minister, isn't it? 5 years, 10 years, depending on which country is. In heavens also, there is a limited span in which that position is assigned. So after that, when there is a person who is able to elevate beyond the level of Indra, he is promoted to that position and Indra is sent back, depending, because from heaven there is no way up. We have to understand, from heaven we have to come back down only. Why? Because in heaven we live off our earnings. There is no new earning which is happening. There is accumulation of good deeds or punya which we are living off. And once that is done and over with, you are sent back to earth, and again, depending on your karmas, you will take birth in different yodis. There are many sects that believe that a human can be born only in the human yodi, right? A human will be born as a human, a plant will be born as a plant, a chimpanzee will be born as a chimpanzee, a dog will be born as a dog. However, in our Shastras, this is not the case. We do not consider our Atman or our inner being as a seed. It is a bundle of energy. And energy can manifest itself in any form, right? And that is the beauty of our Shastras. Such flexibility in our scriptures. So depending on your karma, even if you have ascended to heavens, you'll have to come down. That is why the sages always say, my journey is not to heaven. Because I reach the heaven, I'll have to come back. And again, I'll have to be in the cycle of birth and death. So my journey is beyond. Now what is the beyond? Again, there are various lokas. Bhu, bhua, swa. And after that also there are some lokas, some 5 lokas, right? Which are there, and the highest is Brahmalok. Beyond that also there is Lok. So our creation is not limited to our universe, right? It is not limited to one universe. There are there are plenty of universes, multiverses. And beyond these multiverse, there is an existence also. And beyond that also there is something. Let's not get carried away. But this is creation. We have to think beyond the small well that we have trapped ourselves in. And that is how we have started analyzing everything. That is the irony. We think that the five senses are the only modes to understand the Lord. But that is not true. Because the Lord cannot be captured by these five senses. The joys of the other lokas are not like the mundane material joys. And the senses, the tools needed to realize and see those joys are also very different. It is not the way we consider sensuous pleasures in this world. It is not the same. Till heaven it is. It is just a different form of sensuous pleasure. But beyond that, what is needed is beyond what we have. We will understand because we are taking this because Anshuman is going to explain it. So now the Ashwa got stolen. Indra hid the Ashwa behind Kapil Dev. Kapil Dev is an avatar of Narayan. We have studied and read about him in great detail in Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran. So again, and Kapil Dev never burned them. It is our sins that burn us. And not only our sins. Over here, Sagar's children, the 60,000 sons of Sagar, were not burnt because of their sins, but because of their virtues. Yes, when we become virtuous, there is a different kind of arrogance that comes in us. I am good, I am kind, I am generous, I give, I love, I care. That is arrogance. Till I am doing and I am caring and I am giving, that I is there, right? And that I is ego. And ego can be a good ego or a bad ego. Either ways, it is not acceptable. So they were the sons of Subati. Subati, again, we talked about is good thought, right? And good thoughts. I am full of good thoughts. I never have a negative thought in my mind. Ego. Till there is I, there is ego. So with that kind of an arrogance, they approached Kapil Muni. And when they were in the company of the sage, what happened? Nothing happened. Their ego got destroyed. That is what they are saying. So 60,000 sons of Sagar were burned to ashes, not by Kapil Muni, not by his anger. Sages don't get angry, just by his company. When in the company of good, when in the company of divine, no kind of ego can sustain. They got burned. Now, there was a great commotion. Raja Sagar had to complete his yagna, right? He had to complete that last Ashwamedh yagna. And so now, we talked about his son Asmanjas. He was in the jungles. So who was summoned? Anshuman was summoned. Anshuman was the child of Asmanjas, who was born by Keshani, his other wife. And he was summoned and he was asked to go and find out where his 60,000 uncles are and where is the Ashwa, the horse, which is needed for the yagna. So Anshuman said, no worries, I will go. Anshuman's name is a ray of light. He is wisdom personified. When he treaded those paths, he was very, very humble. He kept his hands joined. He did not disturb, like his uncle had done, the decorum of everything around him. There was no loud noise or no loud halla-gulla because of his path. He was silently continuing with his journey to find that Ashwa. So in the process, whoever he met, he would join his hands and ask, have you seen my uncles? Have you seen the horse? He would go to the ocean, join his hands and ask, have you seen my uncle? Have you seen the horses? He would go to the heavens. He went to the terrains. He went to the mountains. He went to the deserts. He went everywhere. But not once did he disturb the existing balance. Silently, quietly, very humbly, he went on his path to seek what? The Ashwa and his uncles. And when that kind of humility, that kind of connection with the universe, that kind of oneness with your environment, where your being does not disturb anything around you. More so, it just uplifts everything that touches you, is what is needed to reach Narayan, isn't it? To reach a guru. Nothing has to be changed. No setting around us has to be changed. We can stay wherever we are. We can continue doing whatever we are doing. We can be, again, a student, an athlete, a dancer, a mother, a corporate house or a housewife, whatever we are. We do not need to change anything around us. We do not need to disturb the balance of the people who exist around us. However, calmly within ourselves, humbly, with love, we can nurture everything around us and the self, and that is when the universe helps. And that is what happened to Anshuman. The universe helped him achieve his goal. The universe took him to Kapil Dev. And in front of Kapil Dev, he also saw the same thing. He saw a mountain of ashes. He saw Kapil Dev sitting in his samadhi. He also saw the Ashwa, that is, the horse which was needed for the sacrifice, behind Kapil Dev. But his reaction to the entire situation was different from his uncle's. And that is what we have in our control, of how we react to a situation. And that is what makes a leader and a follower. That is what makes a champion and a loser. That is what makes the difference. How we react to a given situation. Yes. And this is what this Granth tells us time and again. Stop reacting. Become calm. Look at the situation. Don't judge. Don't lose your calm. Be composed. In any situation, let not panic take over. Let not judgment take over. Sit there calmly. And now Anshuman looked around. And what did he do? Because he himself is pure. He himself is calm. He himself is not agitated. He could see the divinity in Kapil Dev. He could see that the sage sitting in front is a tapasvi, his Narayan himself. Now, why did his uncle see the same thing? Maybe they were too full of themselves. We have to be empty. To accomplish anything in life, we cannot be too full of ourselves. The minute we are full, we are dead. We stagnate and we start stinking. Remember that. Probably the uncles were too full about their goodness. Analyze the situation. Think about it. This is what our scriptures want us to do. Think. What is the depth behind every story? So Anshuman over here approached with an empty heart, very pure heart. He approached and he said, Kapil Dev, you are Sakshat Narayan. It is so difficult to understand your ways. When people who have done tapasya for years and years, who have done extreme penance, who have actually followed all the yams and niyams and the sayams, have not been able to understand you, O God, then me, a mere youngster, now he has mentioned clearly, I am just a child, I am a youngster, how then can I understand you? Nobody who is still in the clutches of Maya, who is still in the clutches of Rajas, Tamas or Sattva, can understand you. Because you are beyond Rajas, Tamas and Sattva. You are beyond this. Even the most sattvic cannot understand you. Because you are not bound by the elements of this world, right? When we learned about creation, we realized that the entire creation is made of three mool elements. Those are Rajas, Tamas and Sattva. So when the Lord is beyond this, He is Gunatit, He is no good. He is beyond Rajas, Tamas and Sattva. Then how can we use these elements? How can we use these senses? How can we use what we have right now to be able to understand you? This intellect, this mind, this chin, this ahankar, everything is but in the clutches of Maya. You are beyond Maya. To understand you, we also have to move beyond Maya, which is very difficult. I am just a youngster. I have not even stepped on this path. So how can I claim to understand your ways? And the way he puts it is very beautiful. Let's read it. Kindly make notes over here, because what I'm reading out from the Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran is very essential. Even Brahma, who is not born like us. Now Brahmaji was not born like us. How was he created? Today, when we are going to do the story of Kushmanda, we are going to see how Brahmaji was created. So he was created, right? He came from the lotus, which came out of the Nabhi, that is the belly button of Vishnuji. Again, the story of the entire creation has been done. You can refer to the sessions behind. Even Brahma, who is not born like us, is unable even to this day to perceive directly through samadhi, that is abstract meditation of self-absorption, or even to comprehend through reasoning of various kinds you, who are higher than his own self. Okay, now let's think. Brahmaji, the creator of our universe, right? He was not created like us. He is one of the three Murtis, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Yet, he is unable to understand you no matter what he does. Point 1. Who is saying this? Anshuman is praying. Right? Now, and he's saying, he can't understand. How then could other living beings belonging to various species such as gods, men, and subhuman creatures, evolved severely by his mind, body, intellect, the product of sattva, rajas, and tamas, much less we, youngsters altogether, devoid of light of wisdom, perceive or know you? जब ब्रह्मा जी आपको नहीं जान पाए, right? Then the gods, devas, right? And the other creatures and humans, and more so, a youngster like me who has no clue about what this path is, can understand you. Right? Now Anshuman is talking to Narayan. Then he says, they who are identified with a body are consequently dominated by the three gunas, whose intellect is bewildered by your maya, and whose light of wisdom illuminates only the object of senses, which are external to the mind, perceive only such objects of senses during the waking, dreaming, and sleeping state. So there is a total lack of knowledge in these cases. During the deep sleep state, we don't even know, right? But waking, there are 4 states, right? We'll talk about it later. So he's saying that we look at the world, we analyze the world based on our senses, right? We can touch, feel. This is what we know. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, touch, feel, hear, whatever we have, that is how it is for us. And that is not only us, even the sages, even the gods, everybody for that matter, who is still a part of Maya. They cannot understand you because you're beyond Maya. To know an apple, this is an apple, you should know what an apple is, right? You should have seen an apple. Suppose you have not seen something, will you be able to identify as to what it is? No. So Anshuman is saying, bhai, this is beyond me. It is very difficult for me. I am just a mere youngster. He's what? He is the child of Asmanjas. He probably is a teenager. And then he says, where was we? Yeah. They, however, are unable to realize you, who transcend the three gunas, even though you ever dwell with them. Now he's taking it a notch higher. Even the people who transcend the three gunas, वो भी आपको नहीं जान सकते. They are also not able to realize you. अब क्या करें फिर? What do we do? Such that you are, how can I, an ignorant, even investigate you, who are knowledge personified and hence incapable of being known, are only fit to be contemplated upon by sages, who have by their very birth. Now, Sanatan, we'll do the story about him next class. But over here, so he's mentioning another sage who is fit for all this. So what he's saying is, oh Lord, therefore, let us simply bow to you, the most ancient person in whom the aforesaid attributes of Maya, Prakriti, action prompted by them, as well as bodies engendered by such actions, are altogether absent. He's saying, so when he has given three types, even Brahma does not know you, the gods, men and other creatures can't know you, even the sages, very few know you, even the sages who move beyond Sattva, Rajas and Tamas cannot know you, right? Then who am I, a mere youngster, to investigate you? हम लोग investigation से ही शुरू करते हैं. We want to know God through knowledge, through kriya. We feel, by using this instrument, we will be able to know the one who is unknowable. We can't know him. बड़े sages आए चले गए, but they could not. If he was realizable, if we could know him, if we could capture him, he would not be infinite anymore, right? He is one that cannot be known. So what do we do then? Now Anshuman is giving us a solution also. He is telling nobody knows you. Nobody can know you. Even Brahma has failed. It is not possible even from Brahmaji. It is not possible for the gods. It is not possible for the humans. It is not possible for the creatures. It is not possible for most sages also. And if they claim, they are probably not telling us the truth. कहते हैं ना, प्रभु का पार नहीं है, हम उसका पार नहीं जान सकते. So what is Anshuman saying? So, let us therefore simply bow to you. Because all these things through which we analyze, assess, investigate are not present in you. You are beyond this. So simply I bow to you. You must be thinking, right? After 9 books, we thought we will know. And now, when we are almost going to approach Krishna Leela, you're telling us we cannot know. Now Anshuman, Shukdev ji is telling that we cannot know. Strange, isn't it? Telling us we don't know. We cannot know. They keep doing this to us again and again. Many times they have told us, right? After every book, during every end of every book, they tell us, you cannot know. Just bow down to him. But we are also very hatile hote na. We are also very jiddi. We are also very, kya bolte? I'm forgetting the English word somehow. We are also very stubborn. We want to know. They keep telling us you cannot know. We want to know. They keep telling us, don't just bow down. Now, he says, where are we? Okay. O Lord, let us therefore bow to you. Yet who by your own independent will, now he is describing the Lord, you by your own independent will assumed a divine form in order to teach wisdom to your devotee. Now he is addressing to Kapil Dev. The entire scenario is where Anshuman has reached the place where his uncles are lying in ashes. Kapil Dev is sitting in Samadhi. Behind there, the Ashwamedh, the horse is there. Horse is there. Okay. So he says, who have by your own independent will assumed a divine form in order to teach wisdom to your devotees. That was the Kapila avatar, right? He had come down for that. In this world, evolved by your Maya, people revolve, are born again and again in the midst of houses and other objects of senses, taking them to be real, the intellect being deluded by lust, greed, jealousy, and infatuation. Today, O Lord, the very self of all created beings, by your sight alone, the strong cord of all ignorance in the shape of identification with the body and so on, the root of all cravings for sensuous enjoyments, as well as of actions prompted by such cravings, and the indriyas, the instruments of such actions, have been cut. So what does he say? By mere sight of you, O Lord, what jap, tap, yab, niyam cannot do, mere surrender can do. This is something worth noting. He's saying, by the mere sight of you, O Lord, by the mere sight of Kapila Dev, he's saying, now I am free from the shackles of birth and death. I am free from the desire to enjoy this material world. I am free from all cravings. Wouldn't it be amazing to be free of all cravings? Would our problems end there when there is no want anymore? Think about it. When all our cravings end, when there is no desire left. In a way, we feel that when there will be no desire, there will be no craving, then we won't be able to perform, right? Because if you don't want, how will you perform? That is very foolish to think like that. When you don't crave, when you don't want, you don't waste energy anymore. You have a task at hand, and you have to complete it. And when the task at hand is there, and you stop worrying about how will people think, how will they judge, what will happen, how will be the result, all these dissipate energy, right? When you're craving, when you have totally surrendered to the Lord and you know He is acting through you, firstly, you will act like Him. It will be He working through you. So for you to fail will be impossible. Your power will be enormous. Your goals will be right next to you. It would be impossible to take your goal away from you. Because at that time, you have accepted the divine to be the entire doer and knower. And when somebody else is the doer, why worry about the results? Just act. So that is the dynamism we see in the sages, like recent sages. Let's name the recent sages like Gurudev or Vivekananda or Yogananda. This is the dynamic nature. The dynamic nature, the characteristics that we see in them are not theirs. They are working for the Lord, and the Lord is working through them. Because they have freed themselves of the shackles of Maya. But how do you free yourself from the shackles of Maya? It's like a catch-22, isn't it? Just bow to the Lord. Surrender to the Lord. Remember, no amount of knowledge can ever explain what that divine is. The sooner we accept it, the sooner we understand it, the better it is for us. And that is what Anshuman, a youngster, a mere teenager probably, who has taken the responsibility because nobody else was there. His father was gone to do tapas. His grandfather desperately needed the horse. He has taken the responsibility to get back the horse. And when he says such things, Kapila Muni actually wakes up. He looks at Anshuman with lot of love. And he says that your grandfather, the emperor, maybe you can take the sacrificial horse, which is not taken by me, which was put behind me by Indra. Your uncles were not burnt by me. They were burnt because of their own karmas. Nobody causes pain to us. It is our own deeds that cause pain to us. We might be saying that we are so good, yet only bad things happen to us. We are so good in what sense, Ekto? Firstly, in this birth also, we do not know what is the definition of good. Unfortunately, forgive me for saying that goodness is beyond what we even understand what goodness is. Our scriptures time and again yell and tell us what are the normal things, what are the normal tendencies of a human. What is a good human? We do not know what a good human is. Even then, if you feel that, okay, I know what a good human is, I am a good human. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. Just by saying that I did not hurt anybody does not make you a good human. We as humans are not supposed to hurt anybody any which ways in thought, word and deed. Thought, word and deed. Thought, word and deed. Are we good humans there? Nobody can claim to have not harmed anybody or hurt anybody in thought, word and deed. Anybody, that does not mean only the human race. It means the plants, it means the animals, it means the ants, it means the roaches. So, if you say, I have always been good, the problem is we think that humans are the only essential and important form of creation, That is not true. So, that way also the goodness of ours fails. And what we have done in our previous births, do we know? We don't. So, crying foul saying that I am good is also a big ego over there. We have failed. The minute we say I am good yet bad is happening to me, the minute you say I am good, you are not saral, right? Because a person who is truly good does not even know that he is good. That is called saraltha. And saraltha is one of the things which is essential in God realization. And many a times we have talked about saralta also. Saralta. So there is no word in the English dictionary to substitute the word saral. So over here, Anshuman is standing there. He says, Kapil Dev is saying that this is the horse, please take it. These are your uncles. They have been burnt by their own karmas. And again, he gives a remedy also. To redeem them, what you need is Ganga's water. The minute the holy river Ganga touches them, they will be redeemed. They will be able to realize their divine self and descend from the earth to the other lokas. So Anshuman took leave of Kapil Dev. He took the Ashwa back. He gave it to Raja Sagar. The minute Raja Sagar was able to complete the last yagna, that is the Ashwamedh yagna, he was free now. Because he had given up all cravings again. Cravings. The word craving is being used again and again. He had given up all cravings and had thrown away all identifications with the body. So he said he has reached the highest goal where you have no cravings, you have no trishna, no desires. You have given identification with this body, which is very difficult, right? Because we say, I am the body. You are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not your thoughts. What are you? You are that. So he was able to give up all the cravings, all the wants. He was able to give up identification with the body. The minute you give up identification with the body, you are able to give up identification and you are able to give up attachment with the relations you have with this body. You're free. Because every relation is with the body, right? My relation with my daughter is because of this body. She is the daughter of this body. The minute one is able to free oneself and realize that I am not the body, then where are the relations left then? Everything becomes divine. Everything becomes the same. Everything becomes Satchitananda Sarup. So the minute the last Ashwaya made the yagna, he was able to defeat Indra. Indra is what? The Indriyas. He was able to defeat Indra. He was able to give up all his cravings. He was able to control. He was able to just sublimate. He was able to reach the divine. He was free. And then he said, he gave the kingdom to Anshuman. And he went away. See, all our kings, all through our Shastra, there are 4 ashrams that are followed. Brahmachari ashram, Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, Sannyas ashram. Now over here, Raja Sagar has entered the next ashram, that is the Vanaprastha ashram. Vanaprastha ashram is that ashram which prepares you for the Sannyas ashram. Now the problem with all of us is, we don't lead the Brahmachari ashram properly. We do not know what is the decorum of the Grihastha ashram, and we never want to go to the next phase, which is the Vanaprastha ashram. Sannyas to bahut dur ki baat hai. Even the sannyasis today do a lot of sangreh. They accumulate, which they are not supposed to. A sannyasi cannot have an ashram. A sannyasi cannot have wealth. A sannyasi cannot have things. This is something worth thinking about. So, as a brahmachari, what is the decorum? Brahmacharis are who? They are the students. They are the children. Till they get married, they are in the brahmachari ashram. There is a strong decorum which has to be followed in the brahmachari ashram. Before, in the brahmachari ashram, they were sent to gurukuls. Be it Raja Ram or be it Shri Krishna, they would live in the gurukul, follow the same decorum. They did not have 1001 things to play with. They would sweep the floor. A Krishna would be there with Sudama. It did not matter where you came from. You wore the same simple clothes. You ate the same simple food. You did all the chores to help the Guru, and you gained knowledge. Mind you, knowledge is very difficult to gain when we have so many distractions around us. Children today, I want this, I want that. I want to play, I want to watch PS4, I want to go out for a movie. Distraction. They are unable to use your potential. They are not able to use their potential because they are so distracted with fulfilling their wants. This is not what Brahmachari ashram teaches us. Brahmachari ashram is the ashram where meager, very little necessary things should be there with you. And that is the time, because right now in the Brahmachari ashram, the intellect, the brain, the power is immense. This is where we can take a leap. We can learn the maximum. And we are dissipating and we are wasting this phase of our life by getting distracted and enjoying. In Brahmachari ashram, there is a different kind of enjoyment. Now, enjoyment's definition also I do not want to get into, because suppose enjoyment is very subjective. What you call enjoyment could be different from what I call enjoyment, right? And it is very subjective. So, this ashram is for tapas. This ashram is for gaining knowledge. This ashram is for learning shastras. This ashram is for sacrifice. This ashram is for living simply, which we have totally ruined. So the Brahmachari ashram is destroyed. Grihastha ashram, we continue with the Brahmachari ashram. We fulfill our wants. We take care about. We are just, our family is me, my children, max to max, my parents. That also does not happen nowadays. And that is it. If I am able to give some brownie points, I get some brownie points here and there by doing some meager charities, I am done. I am a good person. Grihasts do not even know their responsibility. They don't realize that they are responsible for the vanaprasthis, they are responsible for the sannyasis, they are responsible for the brahmacharis, they are responsible for the animals, they are responsible for the plants, they are responsible for everything around them because nobody other than them can earn. So grihasts have lost their decorum. When the grihasts who are nurturing the brahmacharis don't know their decorum, how will they pass the same decorum to the brahmacharis? So, and beyond that, nobody moves. Nobody wants to become a vanaprasthi. Sannyas to bahut dur ki baat ho jati. So, but in our shastras, they follow the 4 ashrams. Let's get back to where I was. There are 4 ashrams: brahmachari ashram, grihast ashram, vanaprastha ashram, sannyas ashram. Over here, Sagar said, I am enough, I have had enough. Kingdom, he was the Samrat, he was the owner of the entire world, okay? He was the king who had everything and more. There was nothing that he did not have. And it was just like dropping a pin, he gave it away. He said, I don't want this anymore. I am going. And he left for the Vanaprastha ashram, handed everything over to Anshuman. For us to give up our meager belongings is also so difficult, isn't it? But he was able to give up the rule of the entire world. What did he not have? What did he not have? He was able to give up everything and leave. ऐसा क्या हुआ? ऐसा क्या था? What was there that these kings, these sages, Vishwamitra, could give up the glories, the money, the material pleasures in a blink of an eye and move on? We need to get compelled to think. If these scriptures are not making us think, then what is the point of listening to these stories? Listen and think. Ponder again and again. Ponder, what is it that they are trying to show us? Am I missing out on something? कुएं का मेंढक होता है ना, the frog in the well. He thinks the well is the entire world. He does not even believe that there is something beyond it. Unfortunately, that is what has happened to us. Wrong conditioning. Chale, this is the session today. We'll continue with the story in the next class. This is the beautiful story. In the next session, we'll see how Ganga Ma descends. And what is Ganga? Ganga is pure, true, divine wisdom, divine knowledge. And to get that divine wisdom and divine knowledge is definitely not an easy task. How Anshuman is able to accomplish it, or is he not able to accomplish it? We will see in the next session. Jai Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagwate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagwate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagwate Vasudevaya. 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 Ram Lakshman Janaki Jai Bolo Hanuman ki. Ram Lakshman Janaki Jai Bolo Hanuman ki. राम लक्ष्मण जानकी। अब जय बोलो हनुमान की, बोलो बजरंग बली की जय। जय श्री राम, जय श्री कृष्ण, जय हनुमान, जय हनुमान, जय हनुमान।